We always have a blast chatting with our guests about all sorts of different topics, but sometimes we go off the rails and dig deeper into their automotive and motorsports pasts. As a bonus, let's go behind the scenes with this pit stop mini-sode for some extra content that didn't quite fit in the main episode. Sit back, enjoy, and remember to like, subscribe, and support Break Fix on Patreon.
I don't know if we can do this. Can we, Marianne?
Yeah, I think we got this.
Look, I would like to share what my expectation is for this conversation.
Sure.
And I'd really like to, especially after this last year, okay, I'd really like to just pretend that we're sitting in the paddock and we are shooting the shit, okay? That's what I want. That's what I would really like from this conversation.
Sure.
So that's what you're gonna, that's what you're gonna hear from me. And I do want you to dig in and ask us any questions that you have. But let me tell you something about Marianne. Marianne.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, are you guys Star Trek fans?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Okay. So Marianne is our number one on the starship. Okay. And I will tell you, because of the COVID thing and this whole thing, she and I have not been on the track together.
Okay.
I will tell you, this woman can drive.
She's got a very, very fast car.
Is it the same fast car that I remember?
It's a different fast car, but it's still she's got some pep in her step, right? I just want to let you know that I'm getting Marianne on the track this summer as soon as possible and through the rest of the season. But I can tell you, she's a great 15-hour transit partner. Okay?
Nice.
I do a lot of road tripping, so I'm that kind of driver. But just a heads up, I'm not really involved in the race world. So those questions are going to be for Mary.
Yes? How about we say yes?
I'm guessing you're the one that's out on the West Coast then.
We're both out west. We're both out west,
Really?
but we both were out east. I actually just recently moved west from Buffalo, New York. So I was out there for about 15 years. I drive personally fast. I just don't, I don't watch people drive like professional racing. But I'm getting there. I'm getting into it. Mary's getting me into it pretty easy.
I'm drawing in. Okay, so I just wanted to do that setup for your context for questions. You Eric.
What's up?
You asked me the question.
What's the question?
Yeah,
Which one is it? Did I miss one?
you missed one.
Sexiest car ever.
Oh, he's going back to those.
So, Mary, you kind of avoided the question earlier. I figure we'll follow up here on our pit stop and let's talk about some of your other cars and history and things like that. But we need to answer that question that's been lingering out there, which is, which I threw up as sexiest car of all time. Is it a Mercedes or is it something else?
Well, because we're human beings, we all have a different definition of sexiest,
Exactly.
right?
I mean, some people find Fred Flintstone attractive. I mean, whatever, it's all good.
I guess so. When, George Jetson.
I mean, I guess that's more appropriate in this context.
So here's my answer to that question. And I plan to make this happen. When I decided that we were going to go race on the moon, I didn't know I was going to make it happen, and we're going to make it happen. So I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to drive a Bugatti on Nürburgring.
Oh. Which Bugatti? Are we talking about like a 1935 Type D or whatever it is?
Baby too. Bugatti baby.
It's a Bugatti. The electric Bugatti. That's right.
I will leave that to the imagination.
Quad turbo Chiron, because you have to do 250 miles an hour. I know how it is.
Oh yeah.
She'll use the special speed key, no doubt. Unlock all the power.
That's beautiful. They are gorgeous cars. I will give you credit. You have very good taste. You're the first person to come on the show and put a vote in for Bugatti. Another thing about Bugattis people don't realize is they're French. Most people think that they're Italian, and they're not. So good on that. So let's turn that on its nose a bit. In your opinion, the ugliest car?
That's hard.
There's so many to choose from, right?
That's really, really hard. And you know why? Because I think, the work that goes into crafting and making a car, there's this incredible video now called The Bugatti in the Lake. And I encourage everybody to go and take a look at it. It's a wonderful story. And I don't mean to call out Bugatti again, but any car that has been designed and manufactured, whether it's a Pinto or whatever it is, I think if you bring out some Bondo and you bring out some Rust-Oleum.
Oh man, high quality parts.
Yeah, exactly. You can spit that thing up. I don't know about an ugly car.
For listeners out there, the Bugatti in the Lake is not the Veyron that was purposely crashed into a lake for insurance fraud.
No.
It's like a 1920s vintage Bugatti found in a lake.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing story. Got no ugly car for you.
Okay.
You're talking only racing cars, or
No,
just
it can
cars
be
in
anything.
general?
Go ahead. No, throw it in there. What you got?
A PT Cruiser, ugliest car ever.
Nice.
PT Cruiser.
Nice.
That is definitely on the top 10
That or a
list.
Kia Soul. Pretty ugly too.
Those are pretty weird. So what? Okay,
Yeah.
Marianne, what do you think is a super attractive car? You look at it and you go, "That's a really pretty or really sexy car."
Well, I am not into racing, so wouldn't be a race car. I would probably say like an old Land Cruiser, like a nice old Land Cruiser. Only because I like off-roading, so I've been looking at those vehicles most recently. So.
Nice. Hey, and check out our couple of off-roading episodes we did too. You can learn a lot from those.
That's why she would steal the G-Wagon if that's what Mary had.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely push it to its limit.
So
suburban life here.
Both of you being from the East Coast, and specifically Mary being from Philadelphia originally, I'm assuming you frequented the Simeone Foundation before and checked out the museum there that Dr. Simeone has. We went a couple years ago to go check it out. Several of our members have been there as well. What do you think? What do you think of the collection? What was your favorite car when you visited?
Did you visit?
Oh yeah, did you visit? I have to preface that, sorry.
It is truly it's a great experience. Have you guys been?
Yes,
I have.
Eric, that the collection is one of love and passion. And you go there and you just get immersed in the decisions that people have made to pull that together. I will also say that here in the Reno area, there is a collection that I've had the privilege to, they're all Porsches.
Oh.
Probably more than 50 Porsches, all in, let's call it, we're not going to call it a human, we're not going to call it a man cave, okay?
It's a humidor for 9/11 so they don't rust.
It's a humidor, okay? The joy and passion that people put behind those kinds of collections is really a gift to experience.
So I have been to the NAM, or the NAM, the National Automobile Museum out in Reno, the biggest, littlest car museum in the world, country or something. Passing through Reno, and I was looking up things to do, and I stopped in, and it was a very nice visit. It was a good collection there as well.
Yeah, and she wrote an article on it. It's on our website, as a matter of fact, and that's the part of the Harrah's collection, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So.
It is, and thank you for bringing that up, Tanya, because it really is a nice museum. The one I was talking about is a private collection.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have people, and actually our neighbors here in the same neighborhood that we have are the shepherds of that museum. And so very grateful for their work to keep that opportunity of life for people who come here.
I was bringing up Simeone because I know he's got a couple Bugattis in there, and he does have one of the ugliest Bugattis ever made. Well, I guess that's in the
no such thing.
The 57G tank is pretty ugly. But that car has a really cool story behind it. And if you don't know, you can check out Autobiography, which is on Motor Trend, I believe. They did a whole backstory on that car and how it was like buried underground during World War II to try to preserve it and like all this crazy stuff. It is not the most attractive car. It was designed specifically for aerodynamics. Like most everything in Simeone's collection, it has racing pedigree. He does not buy losers, is what he says. So very, very interesting. But I don't regard it as the most attractive Bugatti, that's for sure. But it is in that collection, and you can see it. And I heard that they are opening back up finally this summer. Now that we're kind of in, let's call it this post-COVID world. So that's good news as well. So I'm looking forward to returning to Simeone here in the near future. But I do have a couple other questions for you. If you could take a car to the moon and race it, Mary, what would it be? Not a lunar racer like you guys are building, but something that you could take right now and go up there and race on the moon. What would it be?
If this was possible.
Yeah, I mean, suspension of disbelief, total sci-fi.
And that's a tough question. That's a tough question. And my answer might surprise you.
Okay.
It's not a Mercedes and it's not a Bugatti.
Dang.
Is it a PT Cruiser?
You funny.
We're not too worried if that one wrecks.
Knowing what we know now about what it's going to take to race on the moon, it's going to be a sprint, right? And then there's going to need to be a recharge. So I'm not going to tell you where this happened to me, but I got smoked by a BMW 8i.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You weren't ready, that's all.
That's exactly right. And I can tell you it didn't last long.
I don't know. Does the i8 do $170? I mean,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
So I probably go for a really, really nice electric pop.
Okay.
That's probably what I do.
I like it. Retrofitted with some solar panels, so when the moon rotates around, it recharges.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's dead the rest of the time because you got nothing.
Okay.
Whatever.
So I got to ask this question because we couldn't ask it in the main episode, which was, we all know Elon already put a sports car in space. It's space junk. Let's face it. It's a Tesla, right? But if you could take a car and turn it into space junk, what would that be?
Well, we already have Marianne's answer.
PT Cruiser. The answer is always PT Cruiser.
To everything.
You can change your answer if you want.
No, I'm sticking with that piece of junk.
Terrestrial trash.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be straight up and say I can't do that.
Only Elon can do that. It's okay. Elon, if you're listening, it's okay.
No,
We get it.
I can't do space junk. I mean, one of the things that is a principle for us and is going to sound corny and all of that stuff, but we have a real responsibility to take care of the heritage that we're
Absolutely
shepherding. And so I don't want what we're creating is going to go up there and it's going to do what we want to do for kids here on Earth. And then it's going to have a scientific purpose. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do space junk.
I said it's sort of analogous to, outdoors hiking and camping, leave no trace. So
That's exactly right.
only leave your footprints behind as much as possible.
That's it. That's exactly right. So I'm sorry, Eric, I don't have any ugly cars or
Oh, that's okay. But I do have a final question. It's for all three of our ladies on the panel tonight. So because Tanya doesn't get to do these pit stops very often, this is right in line with what we were talking about. You said 1.2 million per kilo. So I'm going to change it. And if you had 1.2 million per ton to spend on 3 cars to put in your fantasy garage, what would they be? So I'll start with Marianne. And I know the answer isn't PT Cruiser.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a second to think about this. Clarify the question. Am I taking this
Basically,
to space?
You have millions of dollars for your on-Earth garage.
On Earth. Okay,
Yes.
in my on Earth garage.
we call this
Yeah,
the million dollar man question usually, but I've reworked it.
$1 million woman question. I get you. I don't know. Give me a second. Pick somebody else first. Why'd you make me? I'm not a race person. Let me think about it for a minute.
Or I'll do one each of you and we'll fill a garage. How about that? We could do whatever. We could do any variation. Or Mary, do you want to go ahead with this one? You got some up there? If money was no object.
Trying to think of my third.
Oh, I'm sorry. It would totally be the Bugatti. Totally. It would totally be the Bugatti.
That's one. You got room for two more. What would it be?
Oh, no, honey. You can't get a Bugatti for $3 million.
I got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Mercedes AMG Gullwing.
The SLR, yeah.
And then number 2 would be the Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI.
Respect.
I'm going to have money left over.
Of course. That car's like 50 grand. I mean, it's like whatever.
It's okay. I need the rest of the millions to do monthly engine maintenance. I don't know what my third is right now. I'm still thinking.
Fiat Panda.
Yes.
Oh, yes, they're done. I'm going to have many millions left over. That car, $5,000.
Well, there you have it.
I have nothing to add for you. I mean, I don't even know how expensive cars are anymore because I just don't look them up. It's too depressing.
Yeah, and that's a sad reality. And it's unfortunate. We talk about that a lot on the drive-through, which Tanya is, heavily involved in, and the way that, economies of scale have changed with respect to cars. I mean, a Honda Civic today, and you're looking at spending, $35,000. Like, when did that happen?
And that was my favorite car. That was my first car. And it was the best thing I ever did. It was like $2,000 and I drove it for like 8 years. Can't go wrong.
That car owed you nothing at that point. So
Exactly.
Good deal. Well, ladies, it's been a lot of fun. Again, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, and I look forward to reconvening with y'all.
Yeah,
Marianne first, and then Mary closes. How about that? I'm going to go ahead.
It was a pleasure being on the show. I really appreciate you guys having us on. And it was wonderful to talk to you. So thanks so much.
Great to hang out in the paddock with you guys.
Definitely. We need to do it again at a real paddock, Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
All right, ladies,
See you later.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
If you like what you've heard and want to learn more about GTM, be sure to check us out on www.gtmotorsports.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Grand Touring Motorsports. Also, if you want to get involved or have suggestions for future shows, you can call or text us at 202-630-1770 or send us an email at crewchief@gtmotorsports.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, everybody. Crew Chief Eric here. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Break Fix, and we wanted to remind you that GTM remains a no annual fees organization, and our goal is to continue to bring you quality episodes like this one at no charge. As a loyal listener, please consider subscribing to our Patreon for bonus and behind-the-scenes content, extra goodies, and GTM swag. For as little as $2.50 a month, you can keep our developers, writers, editors, casters, and other volunteers fed on their strict diet of Fig Newtons, gummy bears, and Monster. Consider signing up for Patreon today at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. And remember, without fans, supporters, and members like you, none of this would be possible.